Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. So my mission and my life's work is to restore the African mind. And I realize that most people, maybe nobody really understands what that means because I really haven't divulged the full details of my work, right? Not all at once. And I'm not going to be able to do it all right now, but I do want to give you some insights into what I'm really talking about and how long I've been working on it. You know, they say black don't crack, but I'm not no spring chicken, y'all. I started this work, all the way back in 1992. Okay, all the way back in 1992. I chose to major in Spanish, for example, in college, because I wanted to speak to African people all over the world. I've always wanted to be an educator, right? Ever since I was in high school, I wanted to be an educator. And I was particularly inspired by the work of Booker T. Washington. And if you've read Up from Slavery, then you'll remember how he talks about establishing the Hampton Institute and how he went on a horse-drawn carriage all throughout the South. And he visited our people who had just been emancipated. And he slept in their humble cabins and he ate their modest foods and he observed their very humble lifestyles. And this field research, he didn't call it field research, but this field research gave him real, true insights into the condition of Black people and enabled him to create a learning experience that would address the strengths and the weaknesses of our people so that we could really show up fully in the Reconstruction era and use everything that we had to create the world that we needed. Okay. And so I loved that model. It made total sense to me. And I wanted to replicate it on a global scale. So that's why I majored in Spanish. And so I did what I could to emulate what Booker T. Washington had done. I went into the Black communities in throughout Latin America, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Panama, for example. And like I said, I went into our communities and I mixed and mingled with our people. And in many instances, I went deep cover, for example, going into Panama City back in 92, 93. This is, you're riding into Panama. This is the most intense city I have ever gone into. And there's, signs that say Bush, murderer, Yankee, go home and stuff like this. And so it's like, oh, it's not cool to be American here. So I had to go deep cover. I spoke Spanish fluently, so I just blended in and I did what I could to just, participate as just another brother who's on the scene. I'm just here talking to the girls and drinking the beer and eating the food and dancing and having a good time. And you know what I mean? Just really trying to absorb the experience and get a glimpse of the psychology of how my people are living in Panama, in Esmeraldas, Ecuador, right, in Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica, right? I'm just absorbing it. And that gave me enough insight to then travel to Africa and get a glimpse of, what it means, to be an African. And, I think my first time I went to Africa was 96. Yeah, in 1996 was the first time I went to Africa. I went to Tanzania with the intent to expatriate. So in 1996, I took my baby, who was 4 months old, and we traveled to Tanzania. And I got a house, I got a car, I got a maid, I got a work permit, so that we could stay in Tanzania. And I could, like I said, get this experience, right? So I want you to understand that 1992, 93, 94, 95, that I was going out into the world to gather the information directly. Okay. I'm not a guy with a YouTube channel. I'm not a guy who's on Instagram. Right. And all of this was done in conjunction with my education. I am lettered. I have a degree in Spanish language. I have an advanced degree in education. I've got 30 plus years experience as a professional educator from preschool to the boardroom. Okay? It's really important that you understand who I am relative to the work that I'm doing. Because if you're not clear, right, I know a lot of times my favorite analogy for our dilemma right now is that people don't know the difference between a toy and a tomato, because you get toys and tomatoes from the store. And so you think that because, you see 2 of us or 3 of us or 5 of us on YouTube, that we're all the same. We're not the same. We're not the same. A toy and a tomato both come from the store, but they're not the same. They're made differently. Me and them might both be on social media, but we're not the same. We're made differently. I come from a family of educators. I come from a lineage of community servants. The work that I'm doing extends from the ancestral promise of my family. I'm just carrying it out in this iteration according to what my destiny was, chosen in the prenatal state. I'm not the same as the other people that you see. It's important that you understand that. All right. Why? Because what I'm asking you to do, the way I'm asking you to participate in my vision and in my movement is different. I'm happy that people consume my content, and it gives me a sense of great accomplishment and joy and satisfaction to know that what I share online is meaningful and helps make a contribution to people's lives. People inbox me, people comment, and I know that the work is being done. This is a great media for, extending the message. But the next phase of the message requires another kind of participation from my audience, from my community, from my supporters. Right now, I'm extending the work into Abeokuta, West Africa. I'm in the process of building a school, the Orisa Lifestyle Academy, Abéòkúta Campus. This is going to be the headquarters for a Yoruba language center and a service learning center. And so the service learning component especially is also aligned with the inspiration that I've gotten from Booker T. Washington, whereby I'm going to, assemble the best and the brightest African-American minds and talent to go to Abeokuta and put in work. We're going to solve real problems. We're going to use what we have to create the world that we need. And so I need your support. Okay? If you've learned from me, if you've been inspired by me, if I've helped you make sense of anything, if I've actually enabled you to solve real problems in any capacity, I want you to, contribute. I want you to support this movement. In just under 3 weeks, we've raised over $8,000, but the goal is $30,000. We need $30,000. Okay? $30,000 is very attainable for us. We are the richest Africans on the planet. And so let's show and prove, right? When you look at the realities of our community, the realities of how colonization has adversely affected us, when you look at the ways in which, white supremacism has contaminated our thinking, our self-concept, has distorted our sense of identity, you understand the urgency and the importance of the work that I'm doing. But it's one thing to recognize the problem. It's something else to actually play an active part in creating a solution. I'm offering real solutions to real problems. I'm not a guy with a YouTube channel. I'm a guy who's putting in the work and has been putting in the work day after day after day after day for over 30 years. Okay? So please, if you want to really be a part of something legendary, if you want your legacy to be enshrined and rooted in a real project in West Africa that bridges the United States and West Africa, then I want you to contribute to the Abeòkúta Campus. If you can give $5,000, give $5,000. It's an investment in our legacy. It's an investment in our future. Okay? If you can give $500, give $500. If you can give $50, give $50. Whatever it is that you can contribute to the movement, I want you to do it. And I want you to do it in earnest with the, like I said, the full understanding that I am not a guy with a YouTube channel and an Instagram account. I am a man on a mission who has proven with over 30 years that I am about this life. And the work that I'm doing is improving the lives of others. My purpose is to help bring about the good condition for myself and those who I'm destined to serve. So, if this is something that makes sense for you, if this is something that you want to be a part of, then I urge you to visit me at obafemio.com or orisalifestyle.com and click on the link below for the GoFundMe and make your contribution. Help us to achieve this $30,000 goal this month. We got to get this money up this month so we can have the full building fund and we can just execute this thing once and for all. Have the compound built. The educational compound should be built by this time next year, and we should be sending people over. That's my vision and my goal, to start sending people over by this time next year. I want my students in Abeokuta learning, working, and building. So I look forward to your contribution and sharing our growth and expansion with you in the days to come. Thanks for your support. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.